that creates an incredibly hard vibration in the back of the airplane, so much so that it begins to shake the airplane or the aircraft violently, so much so that it seized up the transmission, and the transmission was ejected from the aircraft. That's how violent the shaking is at the back of the helicopter, because one simple little piece of metal let loose. What holds that piece of metal in? Well, let's take a look at the picture. Let me show you here this still photo. This is the actual pitch control linkage and the tail rotor on a Bell 222 helicopter. That bar that you see at the top, right back and forth here, that's controlled to a little linkage, and that linkage is controlled to the rudder pedals of the pilot, and as he pushes them one way or another, that linkage will go this way or that way, and it'll push that PCL this way or that way. As it does that, it then rotates the propeller blade at the back of the airplane to take a bigger bite or less of a bite out of the air, and more torque or less torque. So it goes back and forth, and it's nice. It works great. All right. Lots of moving parts on a helicopter. Remember that? But there's something that holds that PCL in place, and it's a simple bolt and a nut and a cotter pin. Now, all aircraft are not exactly the same. Some of them have a little different device, and clearly this is not the bolt off of a Bell 222. This is something I just picked up at Home Depot, but it's for illustration purposes only, right? But a lot of aircraft will have a nut at the end of the bolt that's holding all that in place, and we'll put a circle around what I'm talking about here, because what you see is this end of it, right? And at the other end of it is this nut, and then there's a cotter pin that you can't see. But many times they will drill a hole through the nut and through the bolt, and the cotter pin will go right in it and hold it all into place. Now, during the pre-flight inspection, the pilots are supposed to walk around and look to make sure all those cotter pins are in the proper place. Some of them are harder to see than others. This one's a little harder to see. And it may be that it was in place. That's okay. That doesn't mean it doesn't get fatigued over time. It doesn't mean that the whole bolt itself didn't cut loose and break loose. But most likely, based on the picture that we just saw in super slow motion of that PCL arm coming down and just hanging there, it looks like it's pretty much intact.